Good afternoon. How are we all doing on this? Whatever it is. It is Tuesday? It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I'm completely losing track of what day it is or, frankly, what's going on. you go away for a couple of days and everything goes just completely bananas. Just double checking for my sanity, I am off mute today. I managed to completely mess that up last stream before I was away. I managed to talk for 5 minutes-ish, on mute until someone popped in and said, "You're mute." And so, okay, yeah, fun times. So I think I'm fine this time. If my levels are wrong, do tell me. But at the very least, I should be audible and the captions are working, which suggests that. That needs to be my sanity check. If the captions are appearing, everything is fine. It's all good. Oh dear. Audio seems to be very quiet. Interesting. Okay. See what I can do on that one. That could be my mic itself. Did I knock my mic? Let's try talking now. Is that any better? Katerina, how is that? Can you hear me all right? Or do I need to tinker with some stuff? Just very slightly better, but still quiet? Oh, okay. Oh, dearie me. Right, let's see what I can do to tinker with this. Again, it's one of those, you leave stuff, you don't touch it, and yet, it doesn't want to behave. I don't think that will do it. Oh dear, sorting order. It's just a pain. It really is. And the annoying thing is, it's on the top slider. So all I could do is change stuff at the source on my Mac rather than OBS settings. So let's take a quick look at input and see what could be going on. Input level, let's just up that a bit. How is that? Is that better? I can tinker with this some more if need be. Testing, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. This is an exciting stream. Any better? Hopefully, maybe, possibly. I don't know. Let me move my mic a little bit without. It's the how close can I get this to the without the pop filter appearing on camera? Still quiet. What? It says it's fine from my perspective, or it looks to be. It's certainly near the top of stuff. Oh dear. Right, let's up the input volume a little bit more. Ha 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 ha. Dave is being silly. Dave changed the wrong thing. I changed the input on my inbuilt microphone, not the Blue Yeti. How is that? Is that any better? I'm gonna waste the first 5 minutes just tinkering with settings. Oh god. Oh, that's definitely louder. Is that too loud? It's going into the yellow zone. The yellow zone is for loading and unloading. There is no parking in the white zone. Sorry, random airplane reference. Oh, and then my pop filters on screen. Let's shift that ever so slightly. There we go. I'm a professional. Honest. Right, there we go. Let's try that again. It's weird. Like I said, I haven't touched this. I left it alone. The door was shut while I was away, so my cat did not get in here. And yet, everything goes tits up. Fun times. How are you doing, Katerina? Are you well? I am tired and just a bit. Just trying to fall back into a routine. It's been a funny old couple of weeks. Excuse me. I'm sleepy as usual. Yeah, I can relate. I really can. So last week we were away at the start of the week. We did Disney, which I'll talk about in a minute, which was good. And we got back on Wednesday, much later on Wednesday than we intended. And then I was back in work on Thursday. I'd say in work. I work from home and I wasn't in the office, but that was a bit of a shock to the system, being back in work. And then MCM on Saturday, which I will also talk about, which was fun, but a very long day and exhausting. And then unfortunately, I had to actually be in the office yesterday. Um, so I'm just very tired, and we're not quite in a routine right now because it is October half term um, over here. So my wife's on half term as well, but she's got a lot of work to do as well. My daughter's nursery don't do holidays, so we get charged regardless. So essentially, we still keep her routine going with nursery. She's not in nursery every day anyway, but it's a little bit of a weird routine these couple of weeks. Yeah, everything sort of goes back to normal next week, but I'm still finding my feet, and then I'm doing an awful lot of what day is it? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's not Friday. Beyond that, who knows? So, yeah, let's talk about stuff. So, let's. Dates and times are weird. They really are. They really are. Um, I don't think that gets any easier. Yeah, in fact, it probably just gets decidedly worse as you get older. Um, so, what should we talk about? MCM. Yeah. So, went to MCM London on Saturday. Um, just for one day. I could have gone for Sunday as well, but I did just go for Saturday. It was fun. Is it the second time I've been to MCM? I've been to a few London Comic Cons. I think it's only the second time I've been to MCM though. I've been to London Film and Comic Con a couple of times, so I think it's just the second time. The first one was pre-pandemic. So that was good. I mean, lots of thoughts. Let's do the first one, just because I mentioned the pandemic there. I was genuinely surprised how few masks I saw. That was odd. I think um, I will say I'll be upfront. I don't mask day to day, um, mainly because I work from home. But if I'm going anywhere busy or if I'm doing public transport, I mask up because that's huge exposure both ways. Um, and I was always going to for MCM because I know it's so busy. Um, and as an added little bonus, I have a little but fierce mask, so it means I can be healthy and keep others healthy and do a bit of free advertising as I go. Um, but really, I did not see many masks, and I thought that was very very strange. I mean, obviously, Comic Con has become more mainstream nowadays, but by and large, and this could be a generalized. I mean, this maybe it's just a bubble thing. But I tend to find that geeks tend to be more open-minded and left-wing, or certainly the geeks I tend to interact with. Then again, there are also the gatekeeping arseholish type right-wingish geeks as well. But I thought in general that the kind of more left-wing, open-minded, don't even need to be open-minded, willing to accept that science is real kind of crowd, then that's not a particularly high bar. I was expecting to see way more masks, and I didn't, and that was odd. And I don't know if it's just because UK versus US. I mean, COVID, it's definitely on the rise here. Lots and lots of people are being off with COVID, but I don't think it's as bad as it is in the States right now. But yeah, just surprising. Yeah. So what did I do at MCM? So I spent kind of the first, not really the first half of the day, but the first thing I did was I did Artist Alley. Oh, let's see. I think there's a general thing of relaxation. Yeah, relaxation when it comes to COVID, not necessarily related to politics, but the social environment. And maybe people don't mask, that leads to the rest not masking. Yeah, it. Yeah, I think you're right. And it's just kind of depressing, really, isn't it? But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I felt I did the right thing. And that's kind of the least I can do, I guess. What was I going to say? Yes, Artist Alley. So I spent the first thing I did is I went kind of up and down Artist Alley. I knew a couple of people who would be about, and I actually missed some people as well. I later on discovered, an artist I follow, was there, and I didn't realise. I don't know how, but oh well. So Jen did a bit of a wander to see what people are doing. I met Montford Tales. That's Rory, who I have not met face to face before, or Master Mask in this case, as we were both wearing masks. and she's a delight. I generally did a little bit of a peruse and stuff like that, but also a bit of looking for prospective people to work with. You know, I kind of have it's a rule of thumb at this stage, that with Little But Fierce, as I'm making the little extra expansions, I'm trying to work with different artists each time, so that all of them have their own sort of flavour and style. And I saw some people of it who did very good kind of fantasy but cute and kid-friendly kind of art. So I left business cards with said people, and they seemed kind of up for stuff, which is cool. Rest assured, Katerina, though, when we get to the Kickstarter edition, you are the first person I'm going to be approaching for the main art on this. You have been warned. But no, lots and lots of cool and interesting people to talk to, which is nice. I didn't buy that much stuff. I'm a bit more restrained than I used to be. I did get, and I will try and show you this, I'll try and get the camera right. I did pick up this, which was quite cool. So, I don't know if I'm reflected or not. I don't think I am. Welsh Monsters and Mythical Beasts, written and illustrated by CCJ Ellis, which it's very pretty. I don't know that much about Welsh mythology. Beyond like banshees and stuff like that, but I saw this and it's like, this is pretty. I mean, look at this. So you get a blurb, you get a nice description, including phonetic pronunciations of all the Welsh names, which is very nice. But the art is so nice. So I had to pick this up, even if it mostly stays on my shelf, but I want to do more. I like mythology. I'm mainly a kind of Norse and Greek mythology kind of person, but I'm trying to expand my horizons, especially with kind of Celtic and Welsh mythology as well. But I had to pick that up, and it's signed, which is good. So I didn't get a huge amount of swag. There were bits of the day when I was a bit cynical about MCM and stuff like that. Like I like meeting people I've not met before at Comic-Con. I like seeing stuff that I've not seen before, especially if it's hand created. But there's an awful lot of stands at MCM which are just, here is retail geek stuff that you see everywhere, but we put it all on one big fucking table. You know, here are all the Funko Pops you would ever wish to see. You could browse that on Amazon. You know, here is Forbidden Planet. Yay, I like Forbidden Planet. But you don't need to take up a giant stand in MCM with your stuff, because there are Forbidden Planets everywhere. So I get a little bit cynical on some of the stuff. But there was some very, very cool stuff and some very, very cool people. And I had a great time. It was very, very fun. In terms of meeting people, I met Rory, which was cool. I did hope to meet up with the lovely folk at Hatchlings Games, but they couldn't make it, unfortunately, which is a shame. But I will hopefully get to meet up with them at Dragon Meet. And I'm absolutely buzzed for Dragon Meet. I bought a ticket for that a while back, thinking, yeah, that'll be fun. But now that I kind of got the buzz, and it's an introvert and a post-COVID thing. I think over COVID, I'm not going to be egotistical enough to suggest I have a following or anything like that, but I think I embedded myself a bit more in the community. So I know a lot more people, but I know them digitally. I know them over Twitter and Blue Sky and Discord, and I have gamed with some people, you know, but there's a lot of people I really want to meet face to face. So I think that's going to be very, very fun at Dragon Meet, which is early December, like the 4th or something like that. So that's going to be very, very fun. I got to meet Cypher of Tyr, so Tanya DePass, who was over for the whole weekend. We met in the queues for BG3 autographs. And she is an absolute delight. I hope to have more of a chat with her in future. It was kind of a shame I had to go home in the evening. Would have liked... I mean, I would like to have stayed out, but, you know, the fact is, I am an adult in my very late 30s with a small child. So, not always practical. But no, very, very fun. Let's talk about BG3 signings. My God, BG3. So, basically all of the voice cast were there. And they did photos and autographs and stuff like that. I thought didn't go with the plan of getting an autograph because queues are crazy. But I thought the queues aren't that too bad. So I thought, well, let's make a call. And I've been watching an awful lot of Jennifer English's and Aliona Baronovas streams, and I thought they seemed cool, and did fantastic work in BG3. So I thought I'll get their autograph. So it ended up taking a huge amount of the day. Essentially queued, and then they had to go and do photo stuff, and then they had a panel. And the staff there, bless their souls, they weren't terribly good at communicating. Until later on, it's like, yeah, they're not going to be back until after the panel. And at this time, the panel was at 3, the panel finished at 4, and at this time it was like 2. So they said, yeah, they're not going to be back till after the panel. So I thought, nah, not staying in the queue. Let's go do some stuff and come back. And then when we got back, the queue wasn't that long, and yet everything just took a little while. And I think and my God, the huge amount of respect here. Both of them have ADHD, and they talk about it on their streams. And my wife has ADHD, so I saw a lot of very familiar things. I'm saying this. When my wife's a teacher, and when she does parents' evenings, she's terrible at sticking to time because she just likes to talk to people and go off on tangents and the like. And I saw similar sorts of things there that actually. They were having wonderful, amazing chats with people, and I managed to have a lovely chat with them as well. But it meant the queue went pretty slowly. But they were great. When they realised it was taking a while, they went out and got water, brought water to the queues. So absolutely lovely people. And that seems to be the feel I'm getting for a lot of the... That's unfair to say a lot. I think all of the BG3 voice actors just seem to not only be incredibly talented, just lovely people, really. Neil Newbon's queue was gigantic, and every person he met, he had the same energy and enthusiasm. And he did the thing, he did an Astarian pose. It's hysterical when you see it. He kind of poses photos with his chest puffed out, and kind of a smouldering kind of look, and it's hysterical. But the energy and enthusiasm, I think on Friday night as well, like he's meant to finish at 5, and Tanya was saying that he stayed till like 7 for people who had Friday only passes doing autographs because no one expected the rush and the queues and stuff like that. So just lovely people, bloody talented and just nice, really, really are. So I didn't expect that to be a huge thing on my MCM, but massive respect for the BG3 voice cast. And my God, would I love to work with them on something, anything. So yeah, that was MCM. I had a great time. I'm so looking forward to Dragon Meet. Would love to see people at Dragon Meet. Katerina, come over for Dragon Meet. It'd be cool. Start of December. I think Evan going to be there? I think Evan might be there. We'll see. So what else? What else is going on? So Disney, I'll talk a little bit about Disney. So I've been to Disneyland Paris 3 times in my life. I went once as a kid. When it may still have been called Euro Disney at the time. And I went once last year, which was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I think I talked about this. My niece's 21st birthday, she said, I'm going to Disney this weekend. Do you want to come? And it's like, kind of yes, but we're kind of skint. And it's not a great time. But yes, we went, and it was a flying visit. This one was a little bit more planned. We did 2 days, and it made sense to kind of do 2 days, 2 parks, because there are 2 parks there. There is Disneyland Paris, and there is Walt Disney Studios. It's kind of a similar setup to the ones in the States. But much as you try and be clever with the cost, it's just the most sensible thing to do is 2 days, 2 parks. So you can go to both on either day. And it was good. I had a really good time, and most importantly, our little one had a really good time. During the day, at least, she did not want to go to sleep in the evenings. That was tough. And I'll be kind of honest on this one. That is a tough bit of being a parent, especially when they're that age. When you know you're in the right and you're trying to do the best thing for them and they just want to play. All the days at Disney was like We'd get back whatever time, she'd be exhausted, but she wouldn't fall asleep. She'd fight it and fight it and fight it. Well, I'm going to stay up, I'm going to play with this, I want to do that, and I want this. And I was like, look, if you stay up any longer, you will be so tired tomorrow and you won't enjoy seeing Mickey and stuff like that. And it was a fight. It was an absolute struggle. And so it was a kind of a mixed emotions kind of trip. The days were absolutely wonderful, but the nights were so hard just getting her down. And there's nothing you can do about that. If they are determined to fight, they are determined to fight. And you eventually end up doing consequence after consequence, and you get into threats, not physical threats, but we're going to have to go home then, you know. And eventually, the defenses go down, and we got it down. Yeah, that was tough. But no, she had a wonderful time. One of the nice things about it is she's grown since last we went, so she is now 1 meter 2 centimeters, which is the exact height for certain rides that she couldn't get on before. And the big two that she was now able to go on that she couldn't get on before was Star Tours, which is great. If you've never done Star Tours, you must do Star Tours. Have a look on YouTube. There's lots of historical Star Tours videos on that. Essentially, it's the Star Wars flight simulator. And it's very, very fun and nostalgic. And she bloody loved it. She really did. And the other one that... I mean, there were loads that she's now able to go on. But the one that really lit her was Big Thunder Mountain. Which is like a runaway mine train style one. It doesn't go upside down or anything. But yeah, dark, swishing from side to side, you know, full on. And she loved it. She absolutely loved it. And wanted to go on it again and again and again. And we did Haunted Mansion. That's not a height thing, but we thought she might be a bit scared, but she enjoyed that. So really, really good fun on that one. I will say that, I said there's two parks. There is Disneyland Paris, which is the main one, and then there's Walt Disney Studios. Walt Disney Studios, certainly at Paris, is, I'd say, a bit disappointing. It's disappointing to go with little kids. I think if I were there just there, or my wife and I were there as adults, I would have spent ages looking at all the animation studio stuff, like they had drawing classes and stuff like that. But if you're there with small kids, there's not that much there to do. There is a very cool Spider-Man ride. It is a Spider-Man ride which you go in like a little kind of... It's like a little truck, yeah, that's been done in Spider-Man colours. And there's a whole narrative, you know. Tom Holland is whatever, and there's little spider bots everywhere, and you've got to take them out. But the cool thing about it is, if you've ever done one of those like Buzz Lightyear or Men in Black rides, you know, where you've got to shoot the targets and stuff like that, it's that. Except the targets you're shooting are 3D. It's 3D goggles and a nice curved screen, so you are. It's very realistic. It is very realistic. But to shoot the things with the webs, it is detecting the motions of your arms, which is so fun. So rather than pointing a gun and stuff, you're literally going, you know, arms out, shooting. And I was exhausted because the motion it detects is you flinging your arm out is the main one, and you can pull stuff down and twist stuff. But generally, if you want to just rack up points and take out as many spider bots as you can, you are just shooting your arms as quickly as possible. I was exhausted. I got a very good score, but I was so tired coming off of that. But it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. There was a small argument in the gift shop because our little one decided that she wanted a Spider-Man toy. And the Spider-Man toys in the Spider-Man shop at Disneyland Paris are just insanely expensive. Like getting an action figure, like kind of yay high, that doesn't really do anything, just bends at the arms, bends at the legs, not even that many points of motion. 40 frickin' euros. So no. No, we did not get her that. They had like a cool remote control Spider-Bot thing. I think that was like 90 euros or something like that. And you can tell they're really, really going in for the merchandising because of course they are. We saw one later on, it's like, oh, this is a cool, like, kind of Venom style one or an Iron Spider style one. That's only 25 euros. Oh no, that is 25 euros for a different case. So you've already spent your 90 euros to get your remote control Spider, but you can spend another 25 euros to get it a different costume. Oh, wow. You know, they take merchandising to a level that I've never seen before. We managed to get out of there. We did a whole kind of... It's the start of the day. This was like quite early on Sunday. If that's the present you want to get as your big birthday present, we can get to you, but let's make that decision at the end of the day because you might see something else. And then by the end of the day, She's forgotten about it. No. Now we may still get her a Spider-Man thing because it's not actually been her birthday yet. It was her birthday trip mostly because it was October half term. Her birthday's in a couple of weeks. So if she still wants a Spider-Man thing, we might get her a Spider-Man thing, but we will get it a lot cheaper than we would have from buying it in the gift store at Disneyland Paris. But generally, it was a great getaway. Toddler tantrums aside, because toddler tantrums are what they are, toddler tantrums. They're bloody heartbreaking, but, you know, I know she doesn't mean it. It was a good getaway. We all enjoyed it, and we needed it. You know, my wife was so tired. You know, the move took a lot out of us. And as I said, she's a teacher, so she's been full on in her job. My job's been crazy. My day job's been crazy as well. So we just needed to get away, get out of the house, get away, and just enjoy it. You know, and try not to look at the bank account afterwards. Yeah, it has. But we're getting there. We are getting there. What else? So those are the big ones. I guess I would be remiss in not talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3. So no spoilers on this one. Sorry, I got an itch. A niche. The Wonder Gnome. The man, the legend. How are you, good sir? It has been far, far too long. How's life treating you? I know! He's here, it's Rush! How's life treating you, mate? I will, at some point, run a one-shot for everyone again. It'd be great to gather everyone for face-to-face, but at the very least, we will definitely have to do... I'll do another Hardboiled Adventures for you at some point. Or a little bit fierce. Either, both. Decades. I don't think quite decades. Reel it in. You're exaggerating. But no, we absolutely need to do something. I will make the time because I miss you all. I really do. What was this one? BG3. So no spoilers on this one because I managed to duck and dive spoilers all the way up to the Mac release for the most part. Other than the fact that just everyone is horny in BG3. But I have finished BG3. Or I've also finished my first run through of it. I finished it the other night. Act 3. What were my thoughts on Act 3 and the ending? I quite liked the ending. Especially the main character ending. The main plot ending I thought was fine. It was quite good. Wasn't exceptional, but it was quite good. The character ending that comes off of it, particularly for Karlach, was really nice. I liked it. There's some interesting stuff about the finale on this one. I mean, the final fight wasn't that hard. You had to be a bit tactical with it. You couldn't just run at everything, but you had enough stuff and you had enough allies to support you that the final fight, I only had to do it once. I didn't have to repeatedly do it. There were a lot harder fights that weren't the main quest, which I'm fine with, to be honest, because, you know, if you've ever played a Mortal Kombat game, especially the latest Mortal Kombat games, the final fights are horrendous. As in, you can be really enjoying it all the way through. Go, oh, there's some trickier fights in this one. Oh, there's some easier fights in this one. And then you get to the final boss, and they are just brutal. As in, you need to be perfect at this game. If you make one slip up, you're dead. You know, like literally, I can't remember what the last Mortal Kombat game I played was. But it was very much a case of you got to hit them so many times, and each hit takes up a tiny amount of health. But then if they hit you twice, you're gone. And that's not fun. That just leads to utter frustration. So in that sense, I'm totally cool with the fact that the final fight in BG3 wasn't that hard. Certainly not on the normal difficulty. No, let me give it credit. It was hard. You know, I said you couldn't just run into it and just have a bash at it. So you had to be very tactical in places. You had to use your resources and your team well. And, you know, it was brutal. But it wasn't the hardest fight in that. And I'm okay with that. That sits in a pretty good place. What I'll say about the plot of Act 3, and it's kind of a feeling through the second half of BG3, they throw a lot of binary choices at you in places. in terms of you got to make some tough decisions in there, and there's no weaseling out of them. You can try, but someone's just going, no, I've got to make a really tough decision here, and it's not what you want to do, and it doesn't sit well. Um, yeah, I think the scale of the final fight was good. I liked it. It was grandiose. Um, what was I saying? Chain of thought. Train of thought's just absolutely gone there. Blah blah blah. Yeah, binary choices. Yeah, so there are some uncomfortable choices you have to make in the game, and I kind of like the fact that they do that. That you can't weasel out of certain things. You know, you don't get your perfect endings. You don't get to you as your protagonist. So your protagonist isn't that exceptional. And we've talked about this before. You know, admittedly, you got the whole tadpole thing, but you are not the chosen one or something like that. So when it comes down to it, is you are totally outgunned, and the fact that you can't bend the entire world and the plot of this game to your will and get the perfect fairy tale ending, you know, without making tough decisions along the way. Kudos to Larian for that. I think that's good, because so many games you are the chosen one of some sort, and you can always talk your way out of every situation. You can always, it's either this or this, but because I'm freaking awesome, I carve a third path. You know? And much as I had thoughts about it at the time, I felt the same way about the end of Mass Effect 3. You know, a lot of people didn't like the end of Mass Effect 3, but that has grown on me, that actually it's exactly the same thing. Yeah, you're kind of special, but when it comes down to it, the scale of the dilemma is so big, there is not a perfect solution. So you've got to choose the solution that is best for you. And I like that. I do like that. I will talk about grandiose fights in this one, and I don't want to spoil it. And I won't. But there is a fight in Act 3 of BG3 with the best music I have ever encountered in a boss fight in a game before. It is magnificent. Like, it starts. I've seen reaction videos in this. I googled it afterwards for reaction videos, because essentially you start this fight. It's like, wow, yeah, you hear like kind of church organ playing in the background. It's like, oh wow, yeah, the hairs are going up, and then vocals start. And it is like, it scratches like a Disney villain itch. It's like Jeremy Irons should be doing this as Scar, or it should be Jafar or something like that. It is so freaking good that you do this whole fight going, I don't care, I get my ass kicked. it's so good. It's just amazing. And I didn't listen to the soundtrack before. I grabbed the soundtrack on Apple Music before I finished the game, but I deliberately didn't listen to it because I thought the titles of some of the songs might spoil the plot. But the second I finished this, like, I gotta listen to this song. It's just so good. So if you've not played it yet, you're in for a freaking treat on that one. Exactly. I had to do it a few times. The thing that saved me on that fight is the ally you've got with you can do divine intervention. So the fact that at the start of that fight I got to do a divine intervention to give my party a long rest, if I hadn't had that, I never would have passed it. That fight. I would have had to wound back and not done that entire plot line, because that is a brutal freaking fight. The divine intervention to get the long rest and get my spell slots and everything back saved me, but it was not easy. I had to do it a few times, and I had to do a lot of reloads midway through the fight. It's like, let's go back to a point when this wasn't going quite as badly, but absolutely, you enjoy it because the music is so good. So I have really enjoyed BG3, and sure enough, as predicted, I've gone straight into a second playthrough. Sorry, Starfield, it's not happening. So I'm now doing an evil. We'll see how evil playthrough it goes. So I'm playing a drow. Not because drow are evil, but because I kind of felt it matched the aesthetic I wanted for the character. So I'm playing a drow wizard. I've not played a pure spellcaster before, and I resisted the urge to multi-class them into anything else. I'm playing Dark Urge. I think this is going to be interesting. I know there are some weird stuff in this one, and that whole binary choice thing about stuff you don't get. I know stuff happens that you don't get choice about because of the Dark Urge. So I'm in for a roller coaster here. I'm gonna try at the start. I'm playing this character as they are incredibly pragmatic. They're not evil. They just bit self-centered. Don't care too much about collateral damage, but they're not just a killing machine who's just gonna. They're not a murder hobo, and we'll see how long I can walk that line for. That actually they don't really care about the collateral damage too much. You know, they just need the best result for them. And they're not going to be particularly nice. They're going to use a lot of intimidate, a lot of deception, rather than being nice and persuading. They'll rough some people up along the way, but I'm not going brutal yet. But we'll see where we go with Dark Urge, and I think that's going to be very, very interesting. I did consider upping the difficulty as well, but I thought it might just take some of the fun out of it. So, if when I do a third playthrough, I will probably go back to being a good character as such. I think I might play Yennefer, my halfling monk. And I'll play that on a harder difficulty and we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm still early in Act 1. I have just encountered the druids. I kind of know where this is going to go because I want to get Minthara. So this is going to be interesting. I wish the Dark Urge pellet should have been the default option. I think that's... I've heard people say that. And I think the only reason I might disagree, just from what I've heard, is that some of these things that get forced upon you with the Dark Urge are might be a bit too much for the default option. But we'll see. We'll see. I will report in on this as we go. Very much enjoying it so far. And I will make a tiny point on this one about playing a wizard in a modern D&D game. Loving cantrips. That was always a problem with the old BG games playing a wizard, is you ran out of spells and then you had to go, I'm now using my sling. Because it's the only thing I've got that I can use to keep fighting without charging straight into combat. That's the best thing about cantrips, in my mind, is it means that even if your big power spells are depleted and you've got nothing left, you can still fire a bit of magic each turn. You don't have to go, nah, out of spells now, so now I've just got to be a bit of a crap fighter. Cantrips are cool. I'm enjoying it. And I'm trying to choose cantrips. I've gone Wizard Evocation. I considered Necromancy. You would have appreciated that, Rush. I went Evocation. But I'm trying to choose spells that I wouldn't normally go to. So I'm not going for Firebolt and Fireball and stuff like that. I'm going for... I can't even remember the name of it. The Necromancy one that means that they can't heal. That one. I tend to using that a lot. I'm using Witch Bolt a lot. So I'm enjoying that. We'll go there. That's fair, I agree. The normal custom character, Chill Touch, yeah, just requires work from you to invest in their story where the Dark Urge feels like an origin. I agree. I agree entirely. I think the default tab is good for a first run through because it means you get to absorb the cool NPCs and the plot of the game, which are strong enough that you can do that without your character having to be exceptional on their own. I think then now playing as a Dark Urge, I get to take more of the center seat and go, right, my character is kind of bizarre in such a way that actually they are steering this plot a bit more. I think that works well for a second playthrough. But we'll see. You know, I could be wrong. I am very, very early days in the second playthrough, and I'm very curious in what different directions it goes. I haven't played Bloodlines. I haven't. When it came out many, many years ago, I did not have a computer that could run it. And now I have a Mac, and it doesn't run on Macs. I could do all the various ways to play Windows games on Macs. I just can't be bothered. But I've heard very good things about it. Also, boob physics. That was one of the main things about Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. But I played Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, which was the game before that, which I did very much enjoy. Bit more dated, but that was good fun. I'll be curious when Masquerade Bloodlines 2, when it comes out. It's been in development hell for a while now. I'm kind of curious what that'll be like. If it's out on the Mac, I'll go for the Mac. If it's out on a console, sorry, I'm playing with a pair of scissors. I don't know why I'm playing with a pair of scissors here. You know, I do remember that I'm on camera right now. Now, talking about the Dark Urge and holding a blade. Who knows? One of the clans you choose makes best for second player because it adds so many details you appreciate if you played the game already. Dark Urge is the same. I've kind of got the same thing playing a drow as well on this one. I'm stunned by the sheer number of places they go. Oh, under elf. You know, they really branched out on this one. That's going to be fun. On Bloodlines 2, I would like to play it when it comes out. If it's not on Mac, I will see about console. Because now I have a streaming setup and I have an Elgato capture card. I can stream from my console and play it on my PC without actually playing it on my Mac. So if it's on the Xbox, I might pick it up. Or I'm hoping at some point to my Xbox is an Xbox One. I haven't gone to the is it Xbox One X? If when I get the money to do it, I may eventually get a PS5, which will let me into some next gen kind of games. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I don't want to count chickens before they hatch or anything like that. We'll see. But no, I'm having a grand old time. I'm tired, but it is all good. And my writing has gone to the side for a little bit, but I've needed it. I just kind of go full on for a while. But I do have some stuff in the works. I'm hoping to release something soon, and I will finish Blunderlings at some point because MCM has given me the spark that actually I need to be getting some more content out there. Don't rest on my laurels. Let's keep being awesome and keep making cool things. Anywho, I think that is kind of wrapping stuff up. I'm running out of steam. I have to go back to my day job, but oh well. Let's do the standard sort of wrap up stuff. So this would have been a Monday stream, except I was in London in the office yesterday, but I try and do lunchtime streams every Monday and a minimum. I try and do a second one in the week if I can. It'll always be around this sort of time, kind of 12:15 GMT. I do want to do another writing stream soon, and I'll do some more gaming streams. The last lunch chat we did, I actually played Small World at the same time on the app, and I'd like to do some more of that. So maybe we'll play some Stone Age or some Ticket to Ride or something like that, or some Munchkin. I've not grabbed the Munchkin app, but we can do some of that on a stream. And when Blunderlings does come out, I would I'm fully intending to do a streamed one shot that I will do the technical side for as well. It might be a disaster, but I want to do it because I feel I should be able to do it. Places you can find me: Curious Penguin on Twitter, DC Bradshaw on Blue Sky, DC Bradshaw at Dice.camp on Mastodon. I have Patreon and Ko-Fi at DC Bradshaw RPG. Anything on my Ko-Fi goes towards paying for the tabletop RPG creator directory hosting, which has had a huge boom over the last week or so. Thank you, B. Dave Waters and others that shared that. We got about another 50 people creating profiles on that. So that if you are a tabletop RPG creator of any kind, please create a profile. It's very cool to allow people to reach out and connect with a diverse group of creators and find the people that you want to work with. I think that is about it. So I wish you the very best of Tuesday afternoons / evenings, depending where you are. And I hope we get to speak again soon. Bye.